Another question which generally people would ask, how do you know your yin from yang foods? Yin properties: expansive, cool or cold, near the poles, winter, less heat, salt, less pressure, less time, potassium, plants grown above the soil, whole grains, vegetables, temperate fruits, extreme yin, tropical fruits, sugars and chemicals, fresh and raw foods, creative and relaxed, emotions, forgetful, unable to complete projects. Yang properties: contractive, hot or warm, smaller, near the equator, summer, more heat, more salt, more pressure, more time, sodium, plant grown below the soil, most fish, sea vegetables, extreme yang, salt and meats, stews, baking, pressure cooking, focus and concentrated, emotion, tight and stress. Cooking awareness: yang, hot warm of summer, use light cooking, fruits and raw or half-cooked vegetables. Yin, cold of winter, pressure cook and bake. People living in cold climate, which is yin in essence, consume mostly animal protein, which is yang, to keep warm and contracted. However, living in a hot climate and eating a lot of animal protein, both being yang, they might find themselves too contracted and uptight, which is yang. If someone is stressed and tight, which is yang, and unable to relax, which is yin, it is better to eat whole grain, vegetables and fruits, yin, to balance themselves rather than a diet that is salty meats, which is yang. If someone is forgetful and scattered, yin, they should eat more grounding root vegetables and whole grains and fish, which is yang, and avoid fruit juice, which is yin. During illness like sore throat and swollen glands, which is excess yin in the throat, it is recommended to eat a contractive miso soup, yang, in order to balance the body, and avoid foods like tropical fruit, which is yin. On this topic, I'm talking about the yin and the yang of the food. I'm going to have another talk on that next time, okay, on the next recording. And another questions, again, everyone asks, what is Dao Yin exercise that the Yin Yoga fraternity always refer to? Yin Yoga, everyone speak about Yin Yoga. For us, we look into it into the Chinese heritage and culture, what we call Dao Yin. Dao Yin is, and we call it Chinese yoga, if one may say that. Okay? But Dao Yin is not to say that it consists only of yin property. There is a balance between yin and yang. So just like we breathe in, we breathe out. So there must be the nature of yin, yang, yang, yin. Okay, so when people say Yin Yoga exists, Yin Yoga originally we can trace back where it comes from the Taoist Kung Fu. when in those time, then Darwin came about the exercise. Okay, like the animal frolic or the 5 animals, Wu Xing Qi. Okay, so that from there it develops. Okay, and Darwin for us comprise of so many different patterns of Qigong exercise that one must do. An example, 六脊椎, the 6-ling breath, 八段锦, the 8-section brocades, yeah, 一脊经, yeah, changing of sinews, 五行气, the 5 animals, and so on and so on. Okay, so it's not just it's specific. So I don't know much about yoga because I don't do yoga, but I understand it as I have a lot of my patients who are yoga instructors, and we talk, we collaborate sometimes, and different kind of yoga style that they do. And my sister herself in France, Kia, that teach yoga in Nice, France. Okay, so for me, Yin Yoga is just another form of exercise, but it should not be emphasized on the Yin nature of it. And other than Daoyin exercise, when I started when I was 10 years old already, when I started Kung Fu practice, you know, we use a breathing technique, say into the split. You know, so if we're going to do a full split, then we'll use the breathing, we'll inhale and hold the breath longer than 30 seconds. We can go up longer, to a minute and so forth, so that we allow the qi slowly and we relax the qi, so that the qi, which you would call air, then to go through with our intent, using the intent, and then to that specific area of the tendons and the sinews, and then into the joints, so that then you can relax the joints, and then expand and create a suppleness within the sinews and the tendons, and then so that we can split more and more, we become more supple. So for us, that's what we can say it's Yin Yoga, what people are saying Yin Yoga today. Okay, so it's just a matter of using breathing in, breathing out, and hold breath. So I don't know where it defines Yin Yoga or not. So for us, so if we inhale and exhale, there will be a Yin within the Yang, a Yang within the Yin. Yeah. Okay. Like we can say, inhale cool air, Yin. Exhale warm air, which is Yang, nature. So then the body need to create this principle of Yin and the Yang. So we cannot stay in stasis of just Yin or Yang. So I hope this answers my questions. A question that people always refer and ask and are confused. Yeah. The next one, can one only train Yin separate from Yang? I think I've said that already. Now, we cannot, yes, we cannot separate Yin into Yang. When we meditate to acquire Yang Qi, especially in Qigong training. Then from Yang Qi, because Yang Qi is the one that gives us the life force for us to function. Okay, so the Qi, Yang, to the blood or the fluid, which is the Yin. So there must be a transformation and transportation of that theory, of that principle. Okay, so we cannot separate. So then, if sometimes if we are meditating and we are cutting too much Yang, then we need the Yin. We need the Yin to temper the Yang. So the yin that can control the yang and put the yang at bay. Yeah. Okay? So the yang on the outside do protect us, and the yin on the inside do control everything for us also. But it's vice versa. So then if it's the yang it goes into overdrive, then yin must come in, like to help. Yeah. So we really cannot separate. Okay? So in all the pattern of Qigong meditations, Qigong training or movement, the active one. Okay? So it's always interaction yin yang. Even in Tai Chi, interaction yin and the yang. Even in Shaolin, interaction yin and the yang. Even in Wing Chun, interaction of yin or yang and yin. Next question is, how do yin and yang affect my organs' health? Yes, the organ of Zhang and Fu, okay, the interior and surface organs. Within each organ, there is a yin and a yang nature. So if there's an imbalance, let's say now, an example is now we are in winter here in South Africa. So in winter we're supposed to eat lots of lamb meat, mutton, because then it creates warmth in the body. Or we're supposed to eat a lot of sour food. Okay? But if already our body is in yang nature, regardless if we are in winter, we cannot overconsume the protein that's going to increase too much yang in the body. Okay? It's like the patient has hypertension, but yet in winter it says you have to keep yang protein. But this person which has this disease of hypertension should not eat a lot of yang protein, because then it will increase his BP more high up. Okay? So that's all relative, that we understand that in each season we use certain food element. But yet if we have this problem and then the season cannot dictate really that we have to consume this, like now in winter. Okay? Then it creates more problem. Yeah. So then we have to have a balance. So then we can't have too much yang. Then we need to bring some yin in. Yeah. So then more yin. If you got too much heat in your stomach, in your gut, so you can't keep eating a lot of spices, which is yang, hot spices. So then first we need to fix it. So we need coolant. So we need the yin nature first. So we need yin to balance a bit. But at the same time we can't go on overdrive on the yin. Then there's another problem. Then there can be cold syndromes if we don't look at it. So we need to supervise this properly, accordingly. So according to what we feed the body, okay, for proper nutrients. It's according to how we feel from inside, and then we adjust it. And do we have a disease, or do we have complications of certain nature? Then we balance. Whether it's yin deficiency, then changing. Yang excess, then changing. And then sometimes we need to bring both into balance simultaneously, yeah, at the same time. So it does affect the organ health on the yin or the yang. So whatever we ingest, whatever we drink or we eat, that will give the balance. Either is yin and yang in harmony inside or not. And if other one is not in harmony, whether it's in deficient excess, you will feel it. Yeah. An example like bloatedness, an example of abdominal distensions, colon tightness, okay, acid reflux, constipations. Okay, so then we don't only say, so what the yin and the yang of the food that's only creating imbalance in the organs, but also the mind. 70% of our problem in TCM, we say it's the mind. Then we also need to look at the mind. Is it a yang shen, yang spirit, or yin shen, yin spirit? So we need to bring the balance also. Okay, so that's why heaven, human, earth, in between heaven and earth, yang and yin, we need to have that optimal balance constantly. We must try our best so that then the body adjusts. But yet, let me tell you something, that we cannot just rely on, I want to be in balance of heaven and earth, and all will be good. It depends also on what we eat, okay? What we put inside the system also, okay? You can't say, I'm just going to do Qigong or yoga or whatever kind of meditation, and all will be good. I'm healed. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so the balance must come from everything we do. So we cannot just rely on the Qigong, the meditation training. We rely on the nutrients that we're having. Yes. And then if we can't find the balance, also we can do that. We need to seek treatment also. Okay, so we're going to say rely on that. Yes, I agree. The body is a tool that we have this potential ability that we can heal ourselves. But if the disease or the ailment is chronic, it's not that simple, okay? Then we need to seek help. So we cannot just say, okay, just eat properly now, change that. Well, it will help, yes, a little bit, but it's not gonna fix the cause of the problem, really, until you get treatment, and then you keep doing what you're supposed to do. So Yin Yang is we live with that. It's like the principal theory of our living within heaven and earth. Everything we do is Yin and the Yang. Okay, so I will leave you here, and then just think about the Yin and the Yang, and then how you can apply that. Thank you.